Okay then, how you doing fellas? This is Team Fortress 2, this is Payload on Thunder Mountain, and I'm playing as the Pyro, and I've got a big smile on my face right now because I've been looking forward to doing Team Fortress 2 for a long time. It's one of my favourite games I've ever played, and it's a shame I've only discovered it recently, but nevertheless I'm here now and I'm looking forward to making some content on it. But my only concern right now is, I'm not sure how I'm going to go about doing this commentary because I don't know how many of you guys are actually familiar with this game, and how many of you have no idea what's going on. So I've been debating whether or not I should just assume you guys will have a general understanding of what's going on, being from an FPS background already, or whether I should explain all the basics and take it upwards from there. So I've decided I've got a fairly mixed audience, so I'll try and give a good mix of the two. I'll see how your guys' responses to it, and I'll make a note of it for next time. So, let's get into it. I've been looking forward to this for a long time. Alrighty, so as I said, we're playing Payload on Thunder Mountain. Payload is a game type where the blue team must push the cart filled with explosives from their base all the way through the map into the red team's base, and the red team are on defense and the red team must do what they can to stop them pushing until the timer runs out. And the progress bar on the bottom middle of your screen gives everyone an indicator of the cart's current status and where it is in the map. And generally speaking in Team Fortress 2, the teams at the majority of the time are 12 versus 12. And there are 9 total classes to choose from, each with their own different special abilities, all with their different strengths and weaknesses versus the other classes, their ability to play the objective and make shit happen. The incredible thing about Team Fortress 2 is that the balance between the 9 classes is excellent. There's no particular class which is superior to the rest, there's no particular class which is inferior to the rest. Everything has a time and a place, and because all of the classes have such different abilities, there's this never-ending chain of classes being able to counter each other. For example, one guy could be playing as Heavy, he's easy prey for a spy, but then that spy is going to become easy pickings for me, the Pyro. In turn, I may have a tough time dealing with their Demo Man, and then that Demo Man's going to have a tough time when I change to a soldier, or a scout, or a sniper, and then this sequence of counters goes on and on and on, and you understand the importance of all 9 classes and how all of them have their place. So with around 12 players per team, it's important to find a good balance of classes between all the players. For example, a team of 1 medic, 1 soldier, 1 scout, and 9 snipers is never going to work, because those snipers aren't exactly going to be putting much of a force up front and pushing the cart. If you don't have a good mix of all the classes across the whole team, the team's going to fall apart, and the word team is a very, very strong word in this game. You may say it's the name of the game, Team Fortress 2, understandably. Thankfully, you have the option to change classes between deaths if you feel like you're lacking a little something and you want to fill the gap. As the enemies were pushing through the tunnel in the middle of the map, I noticed we were lacking some pyros on the team, so I decided to switch out to the fire starter. And as a result, we had a much better balance. We managed to suppress the attacks for a long time, long enough to see us to victory on this defensive round of Thunder Mountain. And to my surprise, I came top of the team for that round as the Pyro. I say surprised because I'm not a very good Pyro. I honestly find him kind of difficult to play. He's renowned for using the W+M1 formula, which simply means walk forward and spray your flamethrower. Of course that doesn't sound too hard, but it's never quite as simple as that. The thing about the Pyro is, even though the flamethrower is his primary, walking in a straight line forward and spraying a flamethrower ahead of you generally doesn't get the job done by itself. He's not an instant killer and he's very, very limited with his range, so using a flamethrower is a lot more difficult than it sounds. It means you have to be very, very crafty with your movement and incorporate some of his other weapons into play to try and up his overall performance. But generally speaking, he's quite limited, and his weaknesses include mostly ranged enemies, heavies, demo men who can set up traps for him, and in particular, these things. Sentry guns. It's very, very rare that a Pyro is ever going to beat a sentry gun. I'd say 99% of the time, the sentry will destroy the Pyro. So it's not advised to go walking straight through the open in a straight line trying to flame enemies who are miles away from you. What the Pyro's good at doing is ambushing singular enemies, taking them one by one, and causing chaos and making them panic by setting them alight, and they're trying to finish them off with a melee item, or a shotgun, or a flare gun. He's very good at being a pain in the ass and diverting attention, so if you can, at the very least, set an enemy on fire, then you've done a very good job, because at the very least you've managed to make them want to run away from the fight and look for a medkit to try and extinguish the flame, or else they'll risk death from afterburn. And then alongside that, you'll want to look into some heavy hitting with a shotgun, or maybe some ranged ignition from a flare gun, and finishing them off with a melee item. Spy checking, extinguishing burning teammates, deflecting enemy projectiles. The Pyro's got a lot in his locker. He makes a very good service to your team, whilst causing a lot of havoc to the enemy team. So I hope you enjoyed my first proper TF2 video. I look forward to coming back with more alongside Battlefield and Call of Duty. So until then, thank you for watching, and goodbye for now.